Well, good morning. Got a bit on today. Yes. Right. So today, new braking system. I tried a new brand, Moto Master, and with what I could gather, they're very much not different to the Alpha Racing ones, but don't quote me on it. I just struggled to find rotors and pads for this particular bike. This bike is a nightmare to find parts for. So I have decided to try these out. We've got the genuine Brembo, the racing brakes, the thicker rotor, a bit more of a heat treated one. The CBR has the NGs. These are probably my favorite ones of all. NG heat treated floating. They're about $440 per rotor. Awesome rotor. I could not get it for this. It is on back order and I do not have the time to wait because it could take 6 to 10 weeks. So maybe once these are seated and worn in, and I'm trying to build a spares box again, I'll probably order those in. But for now, this is what we're gonna go with. We took this out last week, had an absolute blast. I cannot tell you how much fun this bike is and how ridiculously powerful it is. Funny enough, I was a second slower than I was on the CBR, so I'm still gelled to that much better, but this will come with the fact that I got up to pace within just the first day of riding this thing. That's pretty cool, so there's a lot of room to go with this. The tyre went really well. The wear is obviously really good too, so I was very happy with that. I think I went with 25 hot on the rear and 35 on the front. The front wear, I believe, is nice and smooth as well. Yeah. So these SC1s are on probably that was a third cycle for heat, but in terms of meat, there's still plenty on them. Yeah, it's a really open discussion debate of, you know, usually the cycle will go before the meat, but with like the more aggressive riders, the meat will go before the cycles. But we've got another track day on the rear and maybe 2 on the front. But anyway, the reason for the rush, I've decided to enter into the St. George sprint race, an endurance event which is coming up. I've decided to take the next step and see how I fare. There's a bit of race prep I need to do to get this up to spec. I've got absolutely no pad on the rear. I also don't have a working rear. I'm going to bleed the rear brake, replace the pads on the rear, bleed the front. Now, funny enough, I had these tyres changed on this. When I put the rear wheel back on, I had noticed one of these. Those who don't know, that does go behind the rear sprocket. So I'm going to have to take this fucking thing off again just to get that back in. But it just goes to show, do not rush your work. I recommend getting one of these trays. They are just awesome because it's all magnetic. Awesome stuff. Now, BMW has this really annoying 34mm, which doesn't usually come, or never comes, in normal kits. Alright, because I'm a pansy, I need gloves. Safety first, guys. Don't forget your safety, because you could get a big boo-boo. Taking a wheel off can be very daunting at first, but I always explain it, as long as you know the science of what's going on, it's really not that difficult or any different to something else. Pop our rear brake off. Yeah, wheel comes off. You gotta be careful of these could fall out. Don't ever miss those. I generally will take it out and put it to the side it's meant to go on. You should have one either side. Hey. I mean, I don't really use the rear brake, but yeah, I'm not getting past for that. Anyway, you missed that part, but all this is that these hang in through here like that. Alright, 4mm punch, you just knock that out, which will drop these out. So because I was in a rush and I have less than a week to prep this bike for the race, my good friend Connor from Pro Cycles got me the last pair they had in stock, which will get me through. I think these are the OEM Brembo ones, which are really good. Yeah, they will just slot back on like that. As you can see, the cylinder's sticking out a bit, which I don't know if you can see that or not. Obviously, if you go put these in, it's not going to fit. So a good way to do, grabbing like a spanner, obviously be really careful, scratch the edge of it, but just gently push it in there. You can slowly push it back in It's good to get two either side to keep the pressure even, so you're not making any uneven dents in it. And you can see that's fully back in now, which will allow this to fit. You just got to be really careful when you're using flatheads. You don't want to damage the pad or make an uneven surface. It can cause all sorts of problems for you later on. So we got it on. I had to turn the camera off because frustration took over. Like I said, I only got this bike a month ago, so I'm sort of just going through the motion of making it right. The rear cylinder, well, this little pin here didn't have one of the stopping pins. It's not overly dangerous not to have it because it is an enlarged top pin. So once it's in, it's enlarged, so it's quite hard to get it out. But just, yeah, getting it into place, did it back up to torque, all that. So we're all good with that. So the rear brake pads are done. Now we're going to move on to bleeding. So all I'm doing here, I'm going to start with the rear, bleed that, but I'm just going to take off the reservoir just because where it is obviously not an ideal spot to be able to manually drain it and top up. There's so much shit in the way. There are multiple ways you can do this. You can just chuck a cable tie if you want right here. That'll hold it in place so you can do your top up. I'm going to do that now anyway. So we've got here is just our little catch can, and then this is a one-way valve, so there's no chance of air getting back in, and then you've just got this. Let's just go straight over that. So all we want to do to start this, and it's so important that there is a process to take, is that you always want to start with the pressure down, which is pushing liquid towards here. So when you undo it, see how it's just slowly going down, and you want to lock it off again. Give it a couple of pumps and release. And you'll see it drop down again. Now we're not past the one-way valve yet, so we're not in the safe zone. And then more. Lock it off. And there we go again. There we are, past that now, so we do have a safety net. Even though I have it, I like to keep the practice the same, okay? Basically, if I let go of this while it's open, this has a chance to stop the air going back in. Now, my suspicion before was that there was air in the system already, and the bubbles that I'm seeing is kind of backing that. And as you can probably see now, we have an air bubble. Obviously, if you allow this hose to have air, that's going to put a big bubble in your system. So it's important that we top it up with the new stuff, because if we get another air bubble and it's that deep in the system, well, we're screwed up. Feeling a better bite to that brake. Alright, so we had a great success with that. Prior to this, I had no rear fuel. There was air in the system, no question. Changed it, flushed it, the old color came out, then the new lighter color came through, so we've seen that. We put that just below max, so yeah, we're pretty good to go. Look at that, so much more bite now. But before, I'd squeeze it, and this would travel, seriously, 2 finger widths down. So it was just full travel, it was soft and plush, and when you pressed it, it would just spin, and you have like a 5-10% bite on it. But now, solid. It's really easy to do as long as you understand what you're doing. Very simple stuff. Don't be afraid of trialing this stuff out, because simply, you know, there's a nut here. You crack it with the pressure down, which is pushing it all out of the nipple, and then you do the nut back up, which locks the air off, which allows you to then let go of that, and then you press down a couple of times, press, open, and you'll see it drain. Now, if you don't have the one-way valve, it is completely fine. That is just it's not even really necessary. But the crucial part is just to make sure that you have pressure down when this is open. And when you're ready, you've done your first push, you lock it off, which locks the air off, and you can let go. So now I have full spring and a working rear brake. Moving to the front, it's very much the same. You've got 3 points. You've got the nipple on your master cylinder, do exactly the same. Instead of, you know, the rear brake, you're holding down the front. We'll bleed that one, then we'll move to our calipers, which will have a nipple just on top of the brake line. And you'll have one on either side. So we're going to work our way through that. The way I like to do it, some of these are quite difficult, don't ever poke at it with the sharp end of anything. You'll just damage it. You just slide it through where it is. You got a smooth round edge and just pop it up. So the rear one was a 30 13. This is an 8. Just pressing that down and releasing, and you'll feel all the pressure in the lever. Go. Knock them off. Pump. Holding it down, and all the pressure releases. And already I can see a couple of air bubbles. Alrighty, well that about wraps it up. Everything was successful. We've got a good bite on the front. I put it on the stand, tested it, bang. Can't exactly ride it properly, but the rear was the main thing. The rear is fixed, which is fantastic. Bit of just stability back in the bike. Just means the ABS can do its job a bit better. I think the next vlog I'll do is probably loading of the bike on the day before, and try and vlog the race day as much as I can. Just see what it's all about. Anyway, talk to you moto heads later. Ciao.